Imagine this is the beginning of the 19th century, somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. A mountain man far away from the civilization carries everything he needs on his body: a knife, a powder horn, and his gun. But the most of them have something else: a tobacco pouch, worn around the neck, and often the pipe hung from it, always ready and yet well protected. For this man, tobacco was more than just a pleasure. It was trade, it was a gift of friendship, sometimes even a key of social relations, at the rendezvous, in camps, or on the trail. Tobacco was shared, given, traded, something of the everyday life. And in this video, we want to recreate one of these pipe and tobacco holders. A witness of this time wrote in his notes when he described the mountain man, "I had nearly forgotten the pipe holder, which hang around his neck, and generally a Gage d'Amour, and a triumph of a squaw workmanship in shape of a heart, garnished with bands and porcupine quills." But what did he mean with the expression Gage d'Amour? It means, literally translated from the French, a pledge of love. In Europe, it was a small token, a keepsake. In North America, it took on a deeper meaning. A man who wanted to marry an Indian woman had to bring gifts: horses, rifles, blankets, clothes, large offerings that showed respect and sealed the bond with her family. But alongside these great gifts, there were also small personal tokens, and that was the Gage d'Amour. Many mountain men received finely craftsman pouches from their wives, often heart-shaped, decorated with bands, with porcupine quills. Practical, yes, but also powerful symbol of affection, loyalty, and connection. So when we recreate such a pouch today, we are not just copying our object, we are reviving a symbol of love, of bonds between people, and of the life of the mountain man. The first question is, which leather is the right leather for this project? And the mountain man, or the Native American, they're living in this area, they produce this stuff, sometimes the mountain man by himself, but sometimes the squaw, the wife of them from the native tribe, using every time the leather that is available. And if you look on the mountain man, I have found several different types of leather that was usable. The most common was like elk or deer. I have here deer hide, but also they're using raccoons, beaver, horse leather, sheep or wild sheep leather, and dogs, wolf, cat, everything what was available, a white cat like a puma. And the most common, of course, was the deer leather. This is what I have here, a really white deer leather, not smoked. I have also smoked leather. This is a little bit darker. And I have also found this type of leather, and this is sheep leather. It's also natural tanned, and I will use this today because it is not good for the most other project that I do, and I don't want to put this in the trash. And yes, this is a white leather for this project, but if I have no leather next time, I will buy only deer leather for the most projects. Yes, and this is the rest of the moccasins video, if you have seen this. And I have find out this is not the right leather for moccasins. And yes, we will do a good project with this leather today. In the first step, I cut here out a thick stripe, like a ½ inch thick. And this is important because I want to hang it over my neck later, and if I make it too thin, it don't function. If you make a really thin stripe, you need to make 3 together later. That is strong enough, and I have decided to make only 1 stripe today. It is what I cut out now with this historical reproduction of thither, that I have this stripe later. If I do this not now, maybe with the pattern I cut too close to the line and I don't have the stripe later. This is why it is important to do this now. The stripe is finished, and when I put this on my shoulder, you can see it is a very soft. I like this leather, but it's not exactly the same size the whole way around. It is why I cut it with a scissor, not with a special tool for this, but this should be normal in the mountain. And then I have here the old stripe. You see the difference, and yeah, I like this. And this is our first part, and I put this away for later. And now we go to the leather and starting the main part of this project. It don't exist an exact pattern because there are different variations and everything was handmade. And the most common was like a shape of a heart, and I decided to make it a little bit different today, and I'll show you how I make it, but you can make variations in this, how you want to do this. And the main part, how big it should be, is the pipe, and the clay pipe can different lengths and sizes. And I have also here a pen. This is a typical pen of the 18th century, and I paint around my foundational pattern. This is our main pattern, and this is finished. You see this exact of the length of the pipe. And what I have shown you on this video was I have folded over and then cut it that it is like similar on both sides. The other way is to make really a pattern on paper and prepare it. I don't do this on this project because the people back then, they don't use paper to make a pattern. They just produce and cut a little bit more away like I have done this today. And with this pattern we go to the next step. We need a second part for our little project. On the next step of the ladder, I can put this on this small side here. I have used a smaller side because I was thinking I need this big part for the next step, but I can go also here, and this is enough. And I lay this in the middle, and this is have two reasons. This is our main part, and I draw the line here, and I make here a little bit more, and this will be close the back. And at the same time I want to fringe this, and this is why I need here a little bit more. I think I make fringes like, what's this, 2.5 inches long. That yeah, this is what I want to do, and let's see how it will be on the end. And now let's throw it. These are my two parts, and now I need to go the next step And this is my part to close this bag for the tobacco. And I have the idea, don't use a button, and this is why I make like this. And now I need to make here in the middle a little cut, and through this there should be leather, and also on this downside here that I can close this with a pipe. This is what I want to mark now on both sides. How to let's go here. How to make the leather stripes, and this is what I need to saw first. And the next step is to saw this stripe on the back side here, that I can hang it over my back neck before I close or sew this together. And what I make with the fringe on the end, let's look later. This is not interesting in the moment. I finished the first part for the pipe, and I can put the pipe inside. Both, I don't know the English name of them, like this. And I sew this on the back. There is a way to do this between here, but I say I'm a mountain man. I want to do something, but I am not the perfect leather worker. And this is what I do. The second part is to make the stripe on the second part. I can lay it down here, and I have sewn the first part on this. Then I say I want to have like this high, and now I can go with the stripe around the neck and say this is the right height. And then I can sew the second part on the back. It's important that I can bear it like this. And the important part is, can I go out? Yes. And now I will sew this. and the main parts are together. It's very important to do this first, also the stripes. If you don't do it, you have it not so easy later to make everything together, because you need to put it out, then sewing, and you have not so much space between. This is why I have done it already, and I have tested. This is perfect. I can lay it here on top, make the pipe inside like this, and it will close my bag. And because everything is together, and now I go to the next step, and this different way to sew it. This is not a main rule how to do it. I will use this chisel and make holes inside, and this is a new technique for me. I never worked with a chisel before, and I use this project every time to learn more about a leather craftsman and working, and this project is good for this. But there is not a golden rule how to do this. You can do it like you want to do it, and yes, I go on. I want to finish this project today. On the beginning, I push the first needle through, and then I level it. This is in the exact middle. And when it's exact in the middle, I go from the one side and then from the other side and do the whole sewing like this. One side, other side, one side, other side. And with a little bit patience, I sew the whole line around. And on the end, I make it a little bit different. When I go to the last hole, I go 2 times back, and then I go with the third stitch only in the middle, and I do this from both sides, and then I have the thread in the middle, and I can make a knot. And what I do, I make a double loop, not a normal double loop. I don't know why I have started to do this like this on every leatherwork, and I do this here too, and do this 2 times. And the good thing on this type of finishing, you don't see the knot on the end. The sewing is finished, and this is the most patient part. And what I now doing is I cut the sides a little bit more beautiful, but I try to make the much left over that I can do. And then I have beautiful sides, and then I cut the fringe. And with the fringe I cut so close I can do. This is very small fringes. I find out, well, for me it looks better. And then you will see this in the video. Then we have a finished product. And here it is, our Gage d'Amour. More than just a tobacco pouch, it is a true symbol of the mountain man life. If you want to learn more about the 18th century, watch the next video and go deeper and deeper in the history of the early American.